What's good, everybody? Welcome to another video. So today's Friday, a last day of trading, so we're gonna see what we can possibly catch today with gold and US30. So let's start off first with gold right over here, which is going to be a very simple setup. So if you guys look at the daily time frame, right, this is what I explained to you guys yesterday. If you guys look at the daily time frame, we have seen the price has finally broken above the 2033, which is going to be this structure right over here. We did not break it yesterday, we did reject it, but this daily candle is currently trading above it, right? If you guys go into the 1 hour time frame, you guys can obviously see that we did break above the structure over here, which was once an area support, which used it as resistance, and now price is back above it, right? Which means that we need to have a pullback into the structures around this area so that price can possibly push back into the upside. And like I told you guys earlier, we can possibly target back into 2360. Which if you guys go into a daily time frame, you guys can see it's going to be this structure that we broke under this week, right? So possibly if we do see that price can give us a pullback into the 2033, we do see that price does manage to remain itself above it, we're looking to get full pullback into the 2360, right, which is going to be my target for the week. Now I'm looking for the pullback specifically at these zones over here, which I want you guys to keep an eye on for today, which is going to be the 2336, right, which is going to be one area of interest, and then the next area of interest is going to be down over here, which is going to be most likely around the 2333, like I explained to you guys. So these are the two areas of interest which I want you guys to focus on this morning, right? Now we want to make sure that price can give us a deeper pullback into these areas over here, and that price can actually remain itself above it. So we want the pullback to retest the structure, retest the EMA, and we also need to get a bullish confirmation. If price remains itself above it, we're looking for buys back into the upside, right? Right now, since we did have news a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago we did have news, which as you guys can see, price is kind of aggressively pushing to the upside. Now we're at this structure over here of support, which once we were using as resistance, we were rejecting it, right? And now it looks like price is trying to break back above it, right? And if it does, we can probably wait for 30-minute candle closure above it, like not like this candle, maybe wait like a little stronger candle breaking above this structure over here, and then we obviously need to wait for those pullbacks to make sure that price does remain itself above it, right? But this right here will most likely be a high risk trade, but if it does give you guys a good risk to reward setup, then you guys are good to look for buy position and then obviously target back into 2360, right? So those are only the two areas that I'll be interested in looking for buys this morning. We're looking for buys above here, which will be a high risk trade. If it does give you guys a good setup, you guys can look for buys. If not, then you guys can simply wait for this pullback all the way down over here so that you guys can look for a better setup, right, to then continue pushing back into the upside. Now I also want you guys to focus on the 2360 this morning. 2360 is the structure that I explained to you guys since I believe it was on Monday that this candle broke under, right? Yeah, so it was on Monday that price broke under, right? And notice how we broke under this structure, which most likely we need to see price to actually give us the pullback into this area. If you guys look at the lower time frame, we're still in a bear structure, right? We did have this bear structure this week, which formed that low. Now we need that lower high, which is most likely going to be around this structure. If price does remain itself under, we're looking for sells all the way back into the downside. So if we don't get a pullback into this area just yet earlier today, but we do see that price goes into 2360, I want you guys to pay very close to this this area 2360. We can also say 2365, which is going to be these two structures right here. I want you guys to pay very close attention to this area. If price does manage to pull back into this area and does manage to remain itself under, we're looking for sells all the way back into the downside, right? So just keep an eye between these three structures that I explained to you guys. So that's going to be for gold. Now let's move over to US30. So check this out. Wow, so US30 gave us the move. Well, it has rejected already the area of interest that I wanted to explain to you guys, but check this out, guys. So yesterday, right, or let me explain to you guys pretty much exactly what I'm looking at. So this was on Tuesday. What I explained to you guys, the price is at this area of resistance, right? So you guys can see resistance here, and we also have another area of resistance there. If you guys look left, you guys can see that we were trading under a structure of support. If you guys go into the daily time frame, we did see the price did give us a pullback there, since we were pretty much in a bullish structure at this point over here, since we did come back into the structure of resistance, which as you guys can see, price perfectly rejected and maintained itself as support, which obviously pushed the market back into the upside. But again, whenever the market pushes into the upside, there always has to be a higher low, which is most likely what the daily structure has been doing right now. If you guys look at the daily structure, we did form this low, this high, and now we're forming this higher low. Yesterday daily candle looks amazing. We did have some weak rejection towards this structure over here, which as you guys can see is resistance and resistance. You guys can go to the 4-hour time frame. You guys can see that this structure of resistance did remain itself above as support, right? If you guys look left, you guys can see it's also another area of resistance. Now check this out. Oh, my bad, guys. Now check this out. If you guys look at the daily, the 1-hour time frame, this is a structure that we were trading when I sent you guys the analysis yesterday. We were trading under this structure of resistance, which I explained to you guys. Hey, price is trading under this area of resistance. Either we're gonna be looking for a pullback into this area to look for sells all the way back into a downside, or if price breaks and retests above, you guys are good to continue looking for buys back into the upside, which is exactly what price did yesterday, right? If you guys go into the 15-minute time frame, you guys can see that price perfectly broke into the upside. It gave us that pullback. This structure right here could have been your guys' entry right over here. So this structure right there could have been your entry. So if you guys would have taken the market yesterday, like I explained to you guys, wait for the break and retest, this right here could have been your guys' entry, and you guys could obviously target back above here, which would have given you guys a very nice 1 to 3 risk to reward setup. So if you guys would have your stop loss, like let's say 70 points, then you guys are going to target 1 to 3. You guys could have perfectly target, my bad, a 1 to 2. You guys could have perfectly target a 1 to 2 profit, which is going to be at this structure over here, which would have been a very nice trade. Now yesterday in the VIP group, we did manage to take some setup, right? So we have managed to take some sales position, which was actually taken from Wednesday, which we, no, my bad, on Tuesday, which we target all the way back down over here, which was at 3,800, and then yesterday morning, right, which was on Thursday, we did manage to enter some buy position right over here, which we took the profit all the way back over there, which also gave us a 1 to 3. So now check this out. There's two structures that I want you guys to focus on this morning. We're gonna have this structure over here, which is gonna be at the 38,250, and then we're also gonna look at this structure right here, which is again the 38,030, right? Now I want you guys to pretty much focus on what price action has done in the past. If you guys look left, you guys can see that this was the first area that price did found the area of resistance, which obviously caused the market to push it to a downside, right? So notice how the first leg went. Push here, pull back there, and then sell. If you guys look left, you just copy and paste this. You guys can see that price is pretty much doing the same exact thing. We have broke under, we're now pulling back into this structure right over here. Now for this morning, we can possibly be looking for sales around this structure over here, which as you guys can see, price is right now currently rejecting these zones. So as long as price does remain itself under this structure, we do get a bearish confirmation. Right now the market opens in an hour for the indices, right? So if the market during the New York session opens up and we do see that price does reject, does give us a bearish confirmation, then you guys are good to look for sales position all the way back into the 38,030, right? Now the next thing, 38,030, if price does break under, we're then going to be looking for the next pullback. So we do break under this structure over here. Obviously you guys want to go into a lower time frame, wait for those proper pullback, make sure that this area over here again, which is the same setup of resistance, does manage to remain itself under as resistance again, and then we're looking for sales all the way back into downside, which my full take profit is going to be down over here at 37,675. Now since on the daily time frame we did form that daily higher low, there's also a possibility of price to actually switch the structure even better, right? So again, we're talking about this, the sales from the lower time frame, but now we're going to be looking at the higher time frame. So higher time frame, we're looking for a pullback into this area, right? So the first one that I gave you guys was the sell scenarios, right? If it happens, if it rejects zone, all that stuff, we're looking for sells. But if we do get pulled back into this area, which is most likely what I want price to actually give us a pullback into the structure, resistance, 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 we can possibly use this area as support. If it does remain itself above it, we're looking for buys all the way back into the upside. Now, if this structure over here, which is going to be the 38,260, we do see that price does fail to reject, and we do see a candle closure above it. Obviously, we want to wait for those proper pullback into this area of structure, which is most likely going to use as support, which happened right over here, right over there. Then we will be looking for a buy position back into the upside. So those are the two scenarios that I'll be interested in looking for buys, right? So we gotta wait for rejection. Obviously we want to see how these zones over here does react. So if we do get rejection here, we're looking for sells. Same thing over here, breaking retest, we're looking for sells. Now if it does pull back here, it does remain itself above it, we're looking for buys, or breaking retest above this structure over here, then we're looking for buys back into the upside. So that's going to be today's analysis. Is going to be very, very simple. Hope you guys understand. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys tonight with another video. Peace out, guys.